SK Hynix stock is up huge, 27.29% on the day. Let's discuss why and why I think it will continue to skyrocket in the coming weeks and months. As always, guys, please like and subscribe. I did pick up some IPO shares of SK. Happy I did. Added it to the $1 million portfolio up to $1,189,000. If you guys want to see which stocks I'm buying in the $1 million portfolio and the method I use to buy stocks, click the link, join the Patreon. But guys, for those of you that don't want to stick around, I'll get to the points and then I'll go deep into detail into why SK Hynix stock skyrocketed today and why I expect it to continue to do so in the coming weeks and months. First of all, ETFs, these leveraged ETFs, and we'll talk more deeply about that in a second. Institutional overallocation. Institutions were buying up SK stock like crazy. Broad semiconductor rebound. Sentiments for the day went back up for semiconductors, which are chips. We'll talk about that as well. Sell the news reversal. Essentially, people took profits in Asia, but that quickly rebounded into somewhat of a short squeeze, which we'll talk about as well. So guys, as always, please like and subscribe. And we also want to talk about the financials, which do continue to be strong for SK. Now, geared ETF launches. If you take a look at your screen, the launch of 2x long leveraged ETFs like SKHY and SKYY created instant buying pressure. Now let's talk about that, okay? Because a lot of people are going to see that and they're going to say, well, they're just a 2x leverage, they're buying derivatives, they're not actually buying the stock. But really quickly, just at a basic level, I'm going to explain how that works. In a nutshell, when these leveraged ETFs, launch these products, they have to give the cash to an actual bank. So let's say, for example, they give them $10 million. That has to go to a bank, and the bank essentially signs a contract with that ETF fund manager saying that they will pay back that ETF daily whatever that stock returned at a 2x level. So let's just say, for example, the stock doubles, to 2 million, just to simplify the example. The bank now owes the ETF manager 2 million. So what does the bank do to hedge that risk? They actually buy the stock directly. So if the stock doubles, they can go ahead and sell the stock and give those profits to the ETF. Basically, the bank has to buy the stock. So even though these ETFs don't directly buy the stock themselves, they do give that money to the bank and the bank buy the stock. So essentially, we had a ton of inflows going into these 2x leverage ETFs. Let me know in the comments, guys, if you guys took part in any of these 2x leveraged. A couple popular ones are SKHY and SKYY. Personally, I don't do 2x leverage. I'm a long-term investor. These are really for like daily trading, really is what they're meant to be. I know some people have bought them and held them and made a ton of money, but really, it's not what they're meant for. But essentially, that was one of the major catalysts today. Institutional overallocation as well. Now, essentially, this 26.5 billion US Nasdaq listing experienced immense demand. Essentially, bottom line, guys, there was a lot more demand for the stock in the US than there was supply. Now, similarly to what Elon Musk did with SpaceX, keeping supply extremely low, that led to an overdemand, which led to a pop in the short term. Now, a lot of people are calling out the fact that the stock actually dropped, over the weekend, and it dropped in Korea. And we're attributing this to really a sell the news reversal, right? So think about it as a shareholder from SK stock. Let's say you've held SK stock for years. The stock was popping, and you've owned these shares. You want to cash in those profits, right? Nothing wrong with that. Now, me personally, it's rare that I sell a stock, but some people like to take those profits, right? So a lot of people in Asia were taking these profits, right? And that came off as a signal to the US, because in an interesting dynamic, you've got the stock trading in South Korea, and then you have the stock trading on the US stock exchange as well, kind of creating this weird dynamic where, Korea, their stock market's open while we're asleep. The price crashes over there because people are selling the stock to take profits. And actually, I think it collapsed the entire index like 15%, and it triggered like a pause in the stock market. Stuff was getting crazy over there. And then the US investors overnight during the after hours on the weekend looked at that as, stuff's going to crash over here as well. But essentially the opposite ended up happening, right? People started buying the dip. People that understand that the fundamentals of the company itself are stronger than they've ever been, and they expect them to continue to get even stronger in 2027 and even through 2030 as well. A lot of data showing that demand is set to stay strong for years to come, folks, which means profits and pricing power should stay strong as well. Now, the short squeeze dynamics, guys, there is some data showing here that there were some short squeeze dynamics going on where, like I said earlier, some people looked at the Korean market, they saw the price was plummeting. They thought that might be, kind of a leading indicator showing that maybe the price is going to spike down in the US as well. Of course, a lot of people skeptical of SK stock since it's gone up so crazy in the last year, but they don't understand the fundamentals are stronger than ever, right? So these poor little short squeezers, or these shorters got squeezed for sure. So a lot of people lost a lot of money trying to short SK today. If you guys were shorting SK, let me know in the comments, guys. And generally that led to a broad semiconductor rebound, right? So people have been skeptical the last few days or the last couple of weeks, like with all these companies IPOing, with market caps of these semiconductor companies like Micron, Samsung, even Nvidia skyrocketing almost in a vertical line straight up. People are skeptical, right? Some people are taking profits. Some people are taking a step back and they think, well, you know what? Maybe prices went up too fast. Maybe it's not sustainable. It's understandable to feel those things, right? But when you look at the fundamentals, eventually the market takes a step back and says, wait a second, this company is printing profits. This company has dang near a monopoly, right? It's 3 companies essentially own the entire global market. And this is why SK Hynix soared. Well, this says 19%, but actually ended up being about 27% for various reasons, folks. The fundamentals are strong. These ETFs created buying demand. There was way more demand to begin with from the initial IPO, which caused a massive spike in the price as well. And just memory chips across the board. Sentiment was lifted because you can only stay negative for so long, right? People can only stay negative for so long, but they have to come back to the facts. And look at your screen, guys. SK Hynix shares soar. Why Barclays sees a potential for the stock to double. Okay, we're talking about a double here. Most analysts are saying that the stock is going to go up massively in the coming 12 months. Barclays came out today saying they think it's going to double. And personally, guys, I expect it to triple. If you're seeing on your screen a 27% increase on the day for all the various reasons we spoke about. Now, if you missed it and you didn't get IPO shares, which I did, I got some IPO shares, put them in my $1 million portfolio. So happy I did. But if you missed it, folks, there's going to be a lot of volatility. This stock is going to go up. This stock is going to go down. If you look at the after hours right now, we're looking at a negative 4% drop just in the after hours after a 27% increase. I think before that, it had dropped about 15% on opening day. So we're going to have a lot of volatility here, right? I don't think, personally, I don't think it's time to stop buying SK Hynix. In my opinion, I'm going to keep nibbling on the stock. That's really what I'm looking at right now. Continue to nibble in the coming weeks, months, and even years, adding it to the portfolio. So if you guys missed out on that initial IPO, I really do think you will continue to have opportunities to keep buying in the near future. And let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. As I said, I did add IPO shares to the $1 million portfolio. If you guys are interested in seeing which stocks I'm buying, the method I'm using to analyze stocks to grow my $1 million portfolio, click that link in the description of this video. You can join the Patreon. You get 1 free week. You get to talk to me in a group chat. We will have a group dedicated just to chips. So we're going to have a group chat just for, SK, Micron, Nvidia, all these AI chips. We're going to have a group chat just for that. So guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Did you guys buy SK? Are you looking to buy now? Do you think the price will continue to skyrocket? Like I just said, I do believe it will, but let me know your thoughts and I hope to see you on the next video.